Wake up lazy students, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is all about mug sublimation. So I've split this video into two different sections. The first one is all the equipment you're going to need, and the second section is going to be how to actually sublimate a mug. So if you're interested, please make sure you smash that subscribe button and let's get into the video. So first of all, I'd like to talk about the equipment I use for mug sublimation. So I'm going to scoot you down here where I keep all my equipment and give you some recommendations of what you need to get started. This is an inkjet printer. The printer you use for sublimation has to be specific, as the ink is the most effective way of getting a bright and crisp image onto your mug. And I'll leave some links of items I use and some other items that I recommend in the box below. Getting the ink into this printer can be pretty fiddly, but I have found that it does last a long time, so this isn't a process you need to do too much. The ink does need to be specific sublimation ink, and it comes in these colours. To print mugs, you have to use specific sublimation paper. I use this one, which is best for just general use. It's a general sublimation paper, but you can get specific paper for fabric, ceramic, etc. to suit your needs. I've left some useful links below for you to read about which paper you might find yourself needing. Now, you can't just sublimate onto any old mug. You will need specific sublimation mugs. These have been specifically designed to withstand the heat and printing process. I recommend only using special sublimation mugs, as other ones simply won't work. Now, for arguably the most exciting piece of equipment, this is the mug heat press machine. The machine is going to heat your picture onto your mug. Now, this specific machine can do 10 and 11 ounce mugs, and you can also change this element to suit multiple other mugs, but it will involve paying around £60 for a new part. There are also a few accessories you'll want to pick up which are vital for the process. For instance, heat-proof tape. This is so important for getting your paper stuck exactly where you want it, so that your design is where you want it on your mug. It does have to be specific heat-proof tape because you don't want anything melting in that heat press that shouldn't be melting. You might also want to pick up either heat-proof gloves or a microfiber cloth. I'd actually recommend picking up a microfiber cloth anyway, because I like to dust the mug before I sublimate it, just so that no dust gets stuck. And I find that microfiber is the best for doing that. So you will need a good working computer or laptop to design your mugs and also to connect your printer to. Now, I'm using my partner's HP laptop, which works great, but I am sure any model will do. There are a few things that you'll need to download in order to optimize your print. The first is optional, but this is called an ICC profile. In basic terms, these are downloadable files which you can pay for, which are specific for your printer. These help to modify the colours so that when you print your mug, they're bright, vibrant and true to the colour on your screen. These are optional, but I found that they made a world of difference to my mugs. The first mug I ever printed without the ICC profile turned out to be pink when it was meant to be purple, so this is just something to keep in mind. Each company will send their instructions differently, so it will be best to follow the individual company's instructions that you order from. Secondly, you will need a computer program that prints mugs correctly to scale. Word simply won't do. Personally, I use GIMP because it's free and it's easy. That's what I'll be using in my video. So I'm just about to show you a screen recording of exactly how I make my mugs. Now, I design my mugs on something called Canva. This is definitely not a sponsorship, but that's what I use. So I design on Canva and then I export to something called GIMP, which is a free software. I'm going to show you the entire process on my computer just now. First thing I'm going to do is head over to canva.com. Here is where I design graphics, use the graphics already included on the Canva package. You can use whatever graphic design software that you like, but this is free. So step one is going to be getting the design. Now, you can create your own design and skip the first step of creating a design, but if you would like some inspiration from what Canva already has, go up to the right hand corner and type in mug. And if we click that, that'll take us to a new tab, and on the left we'll see loading all of the different cute mug designs that Canva has. So you can definitely use any of these to put on your mug. For instance, so that this video is a bit shorter, I'm going to use one of the already made designs for the mug. But if you wanted to create your own design, just pick up at the next step. We're going to drag and drop that first picture. We're then going to leave this design for now. Don't close it off. We're going to go back to Canva, and for the dimensions, I tend to find that typing in Twitter header gives us the absolute best dimensions for a mug. So you'll see when this loads up, it looks a little bit more like what we expect to wrap around a mug. So I'm going to take the design for the front, just drag, right click, copy, go onto that Twitter header and paste this design. Now I'm going to resize it and bring it quite close into the middle, because as you can imagine, this is kind of where our handle of our mug is. We've got a bit of white and then our design, and we want the second design to go here. So I'm just sizing that just now to what I think will suit the mug best. And on Canva, you can use these pink lines, which will tell you when things are in the middle. So what we're going to do now that we've finished our design is go to the top right 3 dots here, click it and then click download. So it's already in PNG, which is a high quality image. That's what we want to use. Now this is the important part. For the size, we want to go to 2. That's just going to increase those pixels for when we transfer it into GIMP. So while we're waiting for that to download, we'll open up GIMP. Now this is another important program or application that you want on your computer, because this is where we're going to be printing from. So once that opens, we'll click File, New, because we're creating a new design for a mug. I like to go from pixels into inches because I know for my 11-ounce mug that it's 8.5 times 3.6. So width is 8.5 inches, height is 3.6, and that gives me a really nice wraparound area of design for my mug. So what I find really good about this step is that you can actually hold up your mug to this screen and imagine turning it around slowly and seeing the design. So this is the exact inches that you're going to see on your mug, which is quite good. So we're going to go back onto that image that we downloaded from Canva of the dogs, click and drag it onto GIMP and just let it go. So as we can see, our design fits perfectly. And if you hold your mug up to the screen when you're doing this with your design, you'll see exactly how that's going to fit. There's a couple of things we need to do before we hit print. The first one is, if we're using an ICC color profile, we want to click up here on the left, Image, Color Management, and then Convert to Color Profile. Now this is using the built-in RGB. What we want to do is click the ICC from the drop-down menu that we've already downloaded. Now depending on where you got your ICC from, there'll be separate instructions and it will pop up here once you've downloaded it. I use relative color metric because I find that that's exactly the colors that I need. So now that we've done those options, we'll just click convert and then we can go to print. So we're going to click File, Print, and again there's a couple of preferences that you'll need to click here just to make sure you're on the right track and it prints out optimally. Now the first thing you're looking out for is the paper type. You want to make sure in the drop down menu that you've selected Premium Presentation Paper Matte because you're using your matte sublimation paper. The quality you want to drop down as high, you want it in color. You also want to go onto the More Options tab up here, and the color correction may be on automatic if you've not changed your settings yet. You want to click Custom, go on to Advanced, scroll down and make sure there is no color adjustment. Because we have an ICC profile on here, we don't want GIMP trying to put in their own color adjustment. So we'll click OK there. And the other really important thing is this mirror image tab here. Now you want your mug design to look exactly as it does on the screen. Now the problem is if you printed this without a reverse image, especially if it was text or a photograph, you would see that it was facing the wrong way. So really important that we click mirror image here so that it prints the wrong way around but then goes on to sublimate our mug perfectly correctly. So we'll click OK and now we can click print. So I'm going to click print and then join you as you watch it in real time printing out. So it's important that you use sublimation paper for your mug printing because otherwise this isn't going to work. So we know which side we're using because it's going to be the really smooth side. The other side should be a bit rougher and you should be able to see the grain of the paper. So we know that this is the smooth side. Now, waste not, want not. I really hate wasting things and I've got a little bit of paper here left over from a previous print job. So I've just stuck that in and you can do that, just don't print ink over ink. So I'm going to print this out because I've done all the correct settings and we're going to print. So the first thing we're going to want to do is cut this to the perfect size of your mug so that we know it's going to fit exactly how we want it. The first thing I tend to do is keep the top line. Now this was actually my boyfriend's tip, but this means that when we put the design around the mug, we know that it's a straight line and we can line it up perfectly. So all I do is just cut the bottom of the design. Bit squint, but it doesn't really matter. And what we're going to do next is pop this on our mug ready to be sublimated. Now before we do that, I like to take our microfiber cloth because microfiber is really good at getting dust off, and I like to give this mug a really good dusting because you don't want any dust or anything trapped underneath when you sublimate your mug, so that's what I like to do. I like to get my tape ready first. Now this is heat-proof tape. It is so vital that you use heat-proof tape because we don't want to melt any sellotape. So this tape is going to be used to secure your design to your mug. What we're going to do is take this design and we're going to face it inward where the ink is onto our mug. So let me just line this up to exactly where I want it. Now I like to use the handle as a little bit of an indicator, knowing that that's in the middle. And like I said, I like to use this top line as a bit of an indicator. Now, using this top line here is going to mean that my design, which I can see through right now, is going to be quite close to the bottom, and I want it more to the middle. Now that's something I've learned the hard way. You want to check that your mug is, well, the print's exactly where you want it. So I would say this is where I would like it. Just make sure once you're happy with it, you start sticking it down. Making sure it's pulled tight, so your design's really tight on there and it is straight. So you can use as much or as little tape as you like. I like to really make sure my design is on there. Perfect, so this is our mug with the tape on and the design on, and the next thing we're going to do is get this into our heat press sublimation machine, which is down here. So I'm going to scoot you closer and show you the process. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to pop your mug in, so it just slides in like so, and you pull the lever. Now this should already be tight enough, but you can tighten your mug in there. You want it snug so that it's not moving, but you don't want it too tight. Now, following the instructions for this UK press mug machine, I'm going to switch the machine on, press OK. P1 is 180, so I've adjusted it to 180. P2 is our time, so 200, that's fine. We're going to press enter. Now this is all just heating our mug up, and then it will be at top temperature, which I recommend is 180. So it's going to be that temperature for the 200 seconds that I set, and I'll be back when it starts to beep at me and we have our countdown.
A few moments later.
So it started beeping at me. I'm going to hit that top button and then it's going to start counting down from 200. When that 200's done, we'll hear another beep and we can take our mug out after safely switching off the machine. Now this goes without saying, but this mug is going to be very hot, 180 degrees Celsius hot. So what you want to do is have something ready to handle the heat while you take the mug out. So you can use gloves. These are heat-proof gloves. I choose not to use them because I don't like the feel of them, but I do like to use my microfiber cloth we used earlier. I just like to pick up the mug that way, wait till it cools down a bit, and take off the tape. I obviously highly recommend that you use heat-proof gloves. That's the safest way, but it's completely up to you. I just use my cloth. In a second, this is going to beep and tell me it's done. So I'm going to hit the top green button and then the power button, switch it off, and take my mug out immediately so that it doesn't have any unnecessary heat added to it because it's already been through the sublimation process. There we go. Touch that. Turn it off, and very carefully we're going to pull this lever, take our heat-proof gloves or our microfiber cloth and just carefully slide out. Remember, this is really hot right now, so you don't want to be unnecessarily touching it. I'm very lucky I have nails that are not going to feel the heat when I take off the tape. So I'm just in the process of trying to remove that tape. Now, of course, professionally, I very much recommend that you do not touch it until it has fully cooled off, but I am impatient and I'm going to take off the tape from this design and risk burning myself in the process. And we're going to reveal the mug. How cool is this? Perfect. So the mug is still very hot, but I do like taking the microfiber cloth and just giving it a little bit of a clean. Now I'll show you a professional shot of this mug, but just for now, this is what it looks like. So like I said, I will put this on my desk and show you a nice, actually in focus video of the mug, but for now I am super happy with it. It looks adorable. Now this design will stay on here forever. It's dishwasher safe, which is great because it actually goes through the layers and prints inside those layers, which is incredible. It's very cool, what can I say? I think it's turned out really well and I hope that you learned something from this process. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial on mug sublimation. I really hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you tag me on Instagram if you make a mug, especially using this tutorial. Show me what you design, show me the mugs you make. I would absolutely love to see them. Leave some recommendations down below. Is there something I missed in the video? Is there another video you'd like to see? I am all about it and I would love to hear what you have to say. And also make sure you smash that subscribe button because it really does support my channel. Thank you again so much for watching and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye!